Are there any God sent apostles of life today? Is there any God sent apostles alive today? Well, after hearing Elder Murray preach on that today, I believe there's no more reason to ask that question. I believe Elder Murray put that question to bed. He put that question in the grave. Are there any apostles alive today? Elder Murray broke it down. I ain't gonna tell no lie. He broke it all the way down. Of course, America is full of apostles. I was coming through Texarkana, Texas last week, and I caught a promo on the radio. They were having a revival down there. Every name that I heard mentioned on it involved in that revival, all of them was apostles, even women, outside of one or two. I think that gal that promo read about 7 apostles, including women. Doing a revival down there in Texarkana. All them apostles down there around Texarkana, really? That's a black folk thing. I think Greg Locke called himself apostle now with his twisted tail. But apostles, I'm thinking about the apostle A.R. Williams over there in Memphis. He's a hardcore Trump supporter. Every time he opened his mouth and talked now, Sunday service, Bible class, Bible study, he's going hard for Trump. He's going hard. But he called himself an apostle. He called his wife an elder in the church. 2 strikes. Y'all got no business to listen to A.R. Williams in Memphis. 2 strikes. He's not an apostle. The Bible is not still being written. The Bible is finished. Paul gave Timothy the instructions to ordain bishops. Titus ordained elders as bishops. People like, well, apostles still around today. Well, the last apostle, Paul, didn't mention nothing about apostles. If apostles were still around today, why did he leave instructions for them to ordain bishops? Huh? Why did he leave instructions for them to ordain bishops? Why not apostles? He didn't mention nothing about more apostles coming after them. None of them mentioned nothing about more apostles. Cause we see that in Ephesians. People say, well, that's 5-fold ministry. Still, After you see that in Ephesians, after Paul died, do you see anywhere else where they may mention about any apostles? If anybody would have been apostle, I think Timothy should have been apostle. Timothy was a preacher. Paul told him to do the work of an evangelist. His duty was to go around and ordain bishops into the churches and places that was already been established. That was his duty. Titus too, in certain areas. But Elder Murray shut the door on that question. Ain't no more apostles. Anybody around here today call themselves apostles, apostlenettes, they flat foot 100% lying. They telling a lie. There are special requirements to be an apostle. None of us have never seen God. We never seen Christ. Nobody has taken part in writing the scriptures. Nobody that run around here calling themselves apostles today have the supernatural ability, the powers that the apostles had. These people run around here calling themselves apostles. They can't perform no miracles. The apostles had power. The Bible says Jesus gave them power to cast out devils, to heal the sick. They could work all kind of miracles. All these apostles today are known for doing is praying and preaching and trying to act like they know more of the scriptures than anybody else. That's where they hanging they had it for their apostleship. They got so much more insight on the scriptures than the average preacher. It take an apostle. It take an apostle. Man, hush. If that's where you hanging it at, you understand the mysteries. Now, a lot of people that call themselves apostles, they don't really take it to their screen. They just use it as a title. But still, you wear that title, and the Bible clearly calls you bishops. So why y'all wearing the titles that is not ordained for you? Paul said, ordain bishops. So anybody that's running around here today calling themselves apostles, they flat out lying. They're lying. Just like that cricket preacher A.R. Williams out there, World Overcomers. The guy ain't never stood up on the doctrines of Christ. He ain't never stood up on the Bible. What's written. Just campaigning for Trump. Using the Bible deceitfully. Trying to use the Bible to condemn people for voting for the Democrat. They're going to turn around and use the Bible to justify voting for Donald Trump and the conservatives. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. He ain't going to sit down and have no debate on them topics. And hardly none of them conservative preachers go to sit down with anybody and have a discussion and a debate on those topics. Because they know they ain't got nothing to stand on. You have Bible study, but I haven't seen yet where people are able to come to the mic and ask questions. It's all about what you say. Y'all have to pay attention to the narrative. They want to force y'all to believe what they saying. You can't. You're not going to question him on the stuff he's saying. I'm sure a lot of people got questions, even in the church. You think he opened the door for people to ask questions? He busy using the church to promote Trump, using the Bible deceitfully. That's all they're doing. Using the Bible deceitfully to try to condemn people and pressure people and scare people to vote against the Democrats, when the people in the party that they're supporting and pushing is just as wicked. When you go to church, the Bible, you're supposed to just focus on preaching the gospel and teaching the scriptures. Leave politics out of it. If you're not going to talk about both sides equally, there's Democrats and Republicans. If you're not going to talk about both sides equally to the Bible, then don't talk about it at all. Because you're being biased. You're being deceitful with the scriptures. You're going to put everything out there about the Democrats, but you sitting on stuff concerning the party that you favor. They're being deceitful. You're trying your best to persuade your people to vote the way you want them to vote. And just put the truth out there and let the chips fall where they may, and trying to convince people they're on the wrong side of God if they vote for the Democrat, and they're on the right side of God they vote for. That's a lie. That's a lie. And you don't hear that coming out of their mouths. It's a lie. You got a lying apostle, A.R. Williams, lying, calling himself an apostle. His wife wearing the title of elder when the Bible clearly forbids it. What truth are you getting? Y'all are supporting all these crooked conservative preachers when they're telling y'all a bunch of lies. Any stuff that you want to hear. The Democratic preachers ain't really using the Bible to try to justify voting for Kamala Harris or whatever. They just doing it. But you got the conservative preachers trying to condemn the Democrats and trying to justify the conservatives. They can't do it. It can't be done. A.R. Williams ain't gonna tell y'all the truth. These conservative preachers ain't gonna tell y'all, is not telling y'all the truth. They seeing what the southern states are doing with purging the Democratic votes. Make it hard. You think they're gonna speak to that? You think they're gonna speak out against what the conservative states are doing? Texas did it. Now Alabama purged the voters roll. They're doing it purposely to disenfranchise the Democrat votes. We see this stuff every time election season come around. The Republicans start doing dirty tactics to try to hamstring the elections, and then the conservative preachers won't get up, won't say nothing against it. They like it. They see what's going on. The Democrats get out there and fight every time election come around. They try to make voting right, to make it fair. The conservatives don't care about how the red states, the taxes and stuff they pull every time election season comes. They don't care. They like it. But they stand in the pulpit and preaching against the Democrats and tell y'all you going to hell while they sitting back supporting all the dirty things that the conservatives are doing. A.R. Williams is a fraud. Donnie Swaggart is a fraud. Bishop Patrick Wooden is a fraud. All them so-called conservatives who claim to be for right, and they not preaching right down the middle, they all are frauds.